Alright guys, in this video I want to talk about the brand new gauntlets that we're going to be getting with Witch Queen for the Warlock, and that is the Osmiomancy gauntlets. A lot of people are having mixed opinions on these exotics because they're simply just basically increasing your cold snap. We actually did learn a little bit more information that are going to make them pretty cool, and also know a lot of people are really, getting excited over the brand new Warlock exotic boots, which are going to be very, very good and probably one of the best exotics that we're going to get out of this whole selection that they announced. But I really think that these gauntlets right here are actually going to be extremely good, and a lot of people aren't talking about the ways they could be good. So if you actually just take a look right here at what it's going to do, it says this nifty look allows for cold snap grenades to have an additional charge that will recharge faster when it makes direct impact. The seeker spawn from the cold snap grenades also travels further too. So obviously from this is basically taking your normal cold snap grenade and really turning it into a powerhouse. Now there's actually a couple different ways you can use this, and I want to get into it by going to take a look at actual Stasis itself. So if we actually come over and look, we take a look that we have a cold snap grenade, and it says a grenade that freezes on impact and sends another seeker to find and freeze targets. So you're going to be able to guarantee two frozen targets with a cold snap grenade, and it's going to be even easier due to the fact that the exotic is going to make it travel further. On top of that, you have an additional one, so you'll be able to freeze 4 targets. And if you also remember, they will recharge faster when they make direct impact. So if you freeze 4 targets, I would imagine you're probably going to have another grenade back, or at least very, very close to one, depending on what your discipline stat is. And speaking of the discipline stat, if you're running a cold snap grenade, you're pretty much going to run a grenade belt, so you're always going to want 100 discipline. So as you see with the 100 discipline, the cold snap goes from a 2-minute and 1 second to a 47-second cooldown. Also really quick, if you're wondering why I have tractor cannon equipped, this is actually a previous video I did. I will link it in the top right and post in the description, and how I think this gun is going to be insanely broken when Witch Queen actually comes out. But getting back to the cold snap grenade, we know it has a 47-second cooldown plus 2 additional charges, and it's going to recharge faster. Obviously, if you take things like demo, you can also do some crazy things with it as well. Now you also have your fragment slots to be worried about. Obviously, you can have things like Whisper of Fissures to make your frozen stuff blow up faster. But even in PvP, if you run things like Whisper of Hedrons right here, this is pretty much going to always guarantee you have these bonus stats and things like PvP, due to the fact that you're probably going to guarantee a freeze over and over again with the cold snap seekers. And then you also have obviously things to increase your class ability when you freeze enemies, just a bunch of stuff. But one of the really cool ones I think is kinetic weapons to increase damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. So if you freeze a lot of enemies with cold snap, you're going to be able to really kill them. So now what most of you probably clicked on the video for is that the secret you're going to be able to do with this, and that I don't see a lot of people actually talking about, and that is the fact if you run the Bleak Watcher aspect, you're going to be able to have 2 stasis turrets on cooldown. Typically, you would always run something like Eye of Another World, so you could buff that discipline stat up even more, but you don't even need to do that now, because with Bleak Watcher, you have a 58-second cooldown, because if you don't know, Bleak Watcher actually just takes the cooldown of Glacier Grenade, which has the longest cooldown now. That's how they balanced it. But you have a 58-second cooldown, but you have 2 charges of it. Now, the interesting thing is, if you, again, actually go back and take a look where it says they will recharge faster when it makes direct impact, if this actually works with the stasis turret and you're going to get cooldown for the grenade, this could be insanely broken. I highly doubt this part works, because I'm pretty sure this is just implying that a cold snap does. But if it's registered to be like a cold snap grenade hitting, since you are technically running a cold snap, this could be insanely broken. Even without it, it's still going to be really good, but just keep an eye on that. So getting back to the Bleak Watcher, I know it's extremely weird for somebody to run an exotic, since it is based all around this one grenade itself and really enhancing what that does, just to completely ignore it and just have an additional charge for the Bleak Watcher grenade. Because again, like I said, most people just try to get this thing back as much as possible, because Bleak Watcher is insanely broken, especially if you run something like Whisper of Durance, so that slow is even stronger. So when the new raid comes out, or even when you do legendary campaign, you're going to be able to always have 2 grenades up at all times. And if you put on things like 100 discipline, demolitionist, you can always have these 2 stasis turrets up literally any fight you get into. We already know how extremely strong 1 stasis turret is in PvE, or even if you have a teammate with you and that is equivalent to 2 stasis turrets, you're basically going to be able to be 2 teammates in 1 now because of this exotic. I definitely think this exotic is 100% going under the radar an extreme amount. I think it's going to be one of the best exotics for stasis in-game builds for Warlock, due to the fact that you will just constantly have a stasis turret no matter what any encounter you get into. And if it's an extreme encounter, you're going to be able to throw 2 stasis turrets out and just lock down a whole battlefield just with you alone. Even if you want to try to play into the actual cold snap aspect of it, I think it's also going to be really good. You're going to have a lot of build potential. But for PvE purposes, having double Bleak Watcher is just going to be insanely strong. And with the amount of builds we have in the game now to get our grenade back insanely quick, you're going to see some insane results with this. I 100% think in in-game PvE content, I think this exotic right here is going to take over Eye of Another World, Verity's Brow, and anything like that, because just having 2 of the Bleak Watchers on cooldown is just going to be insanely good. But let me know what you guys think about this exotic in the comments below. Do you think I'm shooting the ship and I'm just kind of hyping it up, or do you think it's actually going to be really good? Also, if you guys like to see more videos like these, consider doing it on the normal YouTube stuff, and consider going and checking out all the ones I've already posted. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.